How's it going, Mullenites? It's been a rough week to say the least. So Friday session, we're closing down about 8.5%, which leads to a drop of about 32% for the past 5 trading days. So basically, since I started looking at the stock again, there's been nothing really to say in the news that the stock should be tumbling like this, but it's just, I guess, a sign of the overall sentiment that the stock currently faces. Obviously, the big story this week was the Bollinger Motors getting the new CEO, and we talked on here the other day that it would have probably been much better for Mullen Automotive to replace the other CEO, David Mitchery, because obviously there's a lot of ill will towards him. Now, given that the stock is trading at around $1.46, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're actually starting to get close to that territory where we could be on the Nasdaq Naughty list once again. Obviously, Mullen's got that history of regularly falling below $1 in the share price and just destroying shareholders with their reverse stock splits. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, especially given that we had such a huge one at the start of the year to make the third. They had 3 reverse stock splits within 12 months, and the last one was, very early on this year, and they did I think it was like 100 for 1, or they just blew it out of the water anyway, or 200 for 1. It was a crazy reverse stock split, and you thought yeah, they're safe. But given the debt raising they did earlier this year, and then the recent equity raising that they did privately, it's just really diluted the position of shareholders. And I think what we're seeing is the stock continue to slide because it's very much the same story that's been going on for the last couple of years. The company's raising money that's hurting, the general shareholders. It's interesting now, though, because this time around, it is a little bit different because Mullen Automotive has halted a lot of their initiatives that they've been putting money into. They were taking actions to try to curb expenditure and bring down their expenses. So it's interesting that there's been such a fast erosion of shareholder value. And the reason I bring this up is some people were saying that if it falls back below $1, I'm going to go back in and buy a whole lot more. That's up to you to determine whether you want to do that or not, but it's still quite risky. But I guess, given what the company's doing now versus what they were doing last time they had a reverse stock split, it is a different context that we find ourselves in. So maybe there could be some sort of bounce back, but I've lost pretty much all faith with this company. I don't see this company being able to really pull out of this position at the moment. There needs to be something drastic needs to happen. The 2 things I think that they should consider, and there just seems to be no chatter around it, is perhaps the removal of David Mitchery. Obviously, he's tainted the stock, he's tainted the company. The market doesn't like him as a leader. And the other one is, I think the company either needs to go private or get taken over by a more significant player in the auto industry. And I just feel that Mullen on its own isn't going to, flourish as a publicly listed company. They might actually one day start turning a profit as a private company, but the issue with when you have obviously common stock that the public can buy is that the value of the stock is controlled by market actions, which doesn't necessarily reflect the value of the company. That's the risks involved with stock, and that's why people like to get into it, because there's an element of gambling, and you can jump into momentum to get behind a stock and stuff. Look at anyone who jumped into Nvidia over the last 12 or so months. It's just been a lot of momentum driving that stock right up. Obviously, the company's doing really well too, but just as an example. And for Mullen's case, it's been a history of a lot of people, shorting the stock. A lot of people kind of try and jump into that old meme stock movement that happened a couple of years ago, where Mullen did see a bit of a surge in its stock price, and maybe hoping to recapture that. But generally, I think the will around Mullen Automotive for shareholders is pretty much gone. People have been wiped out. It's disgusting what's happened to people's investments in the company. you know, like if you factor in reverse stock splits, the stock was worth something like $360,000 at one point. It's worth $1.46 right now. So yeah, things aren't going well. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for this video. Let me know your thoughts about Mullen Automotive. Are we headed towards going back on the Nasdaq naughty list? Is the stock on a fall back below $1? Given the rate we're declining, it could be as early as next week. Share your thoughts down below. Always love to hear from you guys. Hope you're all doing really well. Have a great weekend. Cheers.